Welcome back to another Vicrez installation video. Today, we will be installing our OEM-style rear bumper to this Dodge Challenger. This is a part of our restoration series, where we take a beat-up junk Challenger and bring it back to life with our Vicrez OEM replacement parts. So, sit back and relax as we take you through the step-by-step process of this installation.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over how we're going to install our OEM bumper and what we need to do to get it ready. So as you guys can see here, we have our OEM bumper. Now we're going to need a couple parts off of it, like this splash guard here, which borders the whole top part of your rear OEM bumper. Now there's a couple plastic tabs running along the bottom inside of it that you need a flathead screwdriver to pop out the plastic tabs. And once you do so, once you pop all of them out along this edge here, it should just come right off, like so. Now there may be some wiring attached to it with some rivets. They're just plastic rivets, and you'll may need a tool like this to pop them out. Now there's one of the parts that we'll need for our new OEM bumper. Now guys, next we're going to be taking out this bottom bracket which holds our wiring harness to all of our electronics. Now it is held in with a nut and bolt that you'll need a 10mm socket and socket wrench to get undone. Now there'll be two located on each side of the front bumper. Let me go ahead and show you where. Right here, next to where the sensors plug in on each side. We're gonna go ahead and loosen those to get ready for the next step. Now make sure you keep your original parts because they're gonna be going on your new bumper. Let's go ahead and disconnect some of our sensors. Now there's these little plastic red tabs that you'll need to pull on each one of them to go ahead and disconnect them. Now as you guys can see, here's the little red tab I was talking about. There will also be a couple plastic rivets along the bottom of your support bracket. Now these are holding it in, as well as these nuts on each side. Let's go ahead and remove those now. Now we're gonna go ahead and pop these rivets out. Now once you've done so, make sure both of your nuts are loosened up and taken out, and that all your wiring is disconnected. Now everything should come out as one whole unit once you've disconnected everything properly, like so. Now we'll also need to get our OEM flashers. These should just pop out, as simple as pushing one of the plastic clips in, like so. Now guys, one of the last parts we're gonna need is this bottom splash guard. As you guys can see here, we've already removed the rivets that were holding some of the parts together. We'll need to remove these metal rivets on each side. We'll have to break them off and install new ones whenever we install it on our new OEM bumper. Now you may need something to clip them with to go all the way through, and make sure you snip off one end of it to get the rivets out. Okay, so next we're gonna go ahead and take off our undersplash on our OEM bumper. And how we're gonna do that is these little plastic black clips insert all the way around your original OEM bumper on each side. We're gonna go ahead and pop those out, and your OEM splash guard and sensors should pop right out as one unit, as well as your flashers, which are on the other side. All right, let's go ahead and pop those out. Now you may need a flathead screwdriver or something to pry on it with to get them to pop out. And usually you want to start from one corner and work to your other. That way you can use some leverage. Now you want to try not to break these clips if you're going to go ahead and reuse it. So guys, another thing we're going to need to do before we remove our undersplash on our original OEM bumper is we're going to have to take our two flasher indicators on both sides out. And we're going to go ahead and remove our tag light as well. Now guys, just like your other flashers, there's a little clip right here that you just push in and they should fall right out. Same goes for your tail light. This one may be a little bit more difficult. And then it'll slide right out. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove our splash guard. And just like I said before, you may need a flathead screwdriver or something flat to pry in between to pop it out. Now guys, whenever you're doing this, you just wanna look exactly where the plastic clips are that are holding it in place. And you may need to pry on it a bit to get some force to pop them out. Now this is why we needed to remove the flashers, because the flashers get in the way of seeing exactly where the clips hold it in place. Let me go ahead and readjust. Now that you have the last piece to your OEM bumper, we can go ahead and start working on our new OEM bumper. So now that we have everything from our original OEM bumper, let's go ahead and go over how we're gonna install everything in steps on our new OEM bumper. So first, we have our top bracket, and this is gonna set exactly like it did on your original factory OEM bumper. And then there's a couple of tabs holding it in place, just like before, that we're gonna pop in, and that's what's gonna seat it, as well as some screws on each side whenever we go ahead and install it back on the car. And then we're gonna go ahead and install our bottom splash. Now this has our sensors on it. We need to install this before we can go ahead and install our sensor bracket. Now this will just be held in with clips, popping in all around the bottom of your new OEM bumper. And then next is our sensor bracket. We'll go ahead and install this and insert our sensors as well as the control modules into their positions on each side. And then we can go ahead and start working on the small stuff like your side flashers as well as your tag light. Let's go ahead and start with our top light bracket. Now this should just snap right in place. Now there'll be some plastic clips going all the way around it that you'll need to slide in each one of these holes to seat the top light bracket in place. Now this may be a little bit difficult because they are kind of stiff, but you may just need to readjust it to seat them correctly. And then they'll just snap in place just like that. Now if they're not seated all the way, you can use a flathead screwdriver like so to pry on it just a little bit to make sure the clips seat properly. Now we're gonna go ahead and start on our bottom splash guard. Now this splash guard also holds your sensors for your tailgate. Now this will just snap right in place as well. Now guys, they'll snap in place all along the edge where these holes are, just like on your original OEM bumper. Now guys, once you hear that snap, you guys know that your bottom splash guard is seated correctly. And then you can just work your way down the line. Now we're gonna go ahead and install our wiring bracket. Now each of the sensors have a module for each side that should just pop right in place, right in its slot. On each of the quarter panels, we're gonna go ahead and lay a thick bead of seam sealant all the way around the edges before we install our bumper bracket and get our rear bumper installed. Now, there's a couple things I'm gonna do before I go ahead and lay the bead down. I'm gonna go ahead and take some masking tape and mask off the quarter panel itself. Now, I'm just using some blue masking tape or painter's tape, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just making sure to mask off wherever the seam sealant may touch. Now, for right now, guys, I'm simply just masking off the parts, not trying to make it look pretty or anything, because afterwards, I'm gonna go ahead and take my X-Acto knife and clean everything up. Then I can go ahead and start laying my bead down. Now I'm simply just gonna push down on the tape, making sure it's stuck to the quarter panel pretty well. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start trimming off where it's not touching. Now once we have everything masked off, we can go ahead and get gloved up before we start messing with the sealant at all. Now we can go ahead and take our adhesive, insert it into the gun, and usually I just take something like a screwdriver because it does have a metal seal that you'll need to break. Then we're gonna go ahead and take our nozzle and simply just screw it on. And then cut your tip to the desired bead size that you would like. And then we can simply start filling in all the seams. Now, once I've laid a bead down all the way around where it needs, I'm gonna go ahead and take a spatula tool like this, or any kind that you prefer, and simply just smooth out the bead and make sure it's into all the cracks and crevices. Now that we have everything smoothened out, we can go ahead and start taking our masking tape off. Now you want to be careful to ensure not to get any of the sealant anywhere else. Now we're going to go ahead and mask off the driver's side so we can go ahead and lay our sealant down. Now we simply just trim everything up, and then we can go ahead and start laying our bead down. Now just like that, our other side's finished as well. Now we can go ahead and start peeling off our masking tape. Now the first things we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take these plastic brackets. Now these simply sit right at the bottom where we originally took them off from. Now these have these little plastic clips on the ends of them to snap in place. And then if you made sure to keep track of all your screws, you'll also have your screws to screw down and make sure the clips snap in place. Now let's go ahead and install these now. Now, once you have one of your brackets installed, go ahead and take your 3 screws and a Phillips head screwdriver and simply screw them into the plastic clips. Now we can go ahead and move on to our top bracket. Now, to install this one and get the screw in properly, we're gonna need to pop the trunk open. Now we simply just snap it in place, just like the other one. And then take our 3 screws and tighten everything down. Now we're done with the one side. Let's go ahead and move on to the next. Now we're gonna go ahead and install our other brackets. Now make sure your plastic clips are snapped into place so they're aligned correctly on the car. Now I can go ahead and start tightening the screws down. Now, for right now, we're simply just hand tightening them with a screwdriver before we take an impact to them to make sure they're fully seated. Now we're gonna go ahead and take an impact and tighten up both sides. Now just like that, we're ready to install our rear bumper. Now that we have the brackets installed, we can go ahead and install our rear bumper and getting everything lined up nicely. Now, we simply line this up with the brackets, and the clips on the bumper itself should slot into the bracket. Now that we have our rear bumper installed, we're gonna go ahead and install our rear taillights. Now these are fairly simple. They simply just slot right in place with a couple of screws on each side. Now, you'll wanna make sure they line up with the holes on the rear of the car, and it'll slide right in place. Now we simply take our plastic nuts from whenever we originally removed them from the car and bolt them back in place on the two screws. Now simply just get one snug, then get the other snug, then you can further tighten them. That way you don't strip the threads on the screws and the taillight gets even pressure across it. Now we can go ahead and install our other one. Now just like that, your rear taillights are installed. So now that we have our rear bumper installed, there is a plug-in that goes to all the sensoring on the bottom for whenever you're backing up or parking. Now we simply just need to go underneath the car and find the plug-in and plug the bumper in. Now go ahead and shut your trunk to make sure everything is lined up correctly. Now this thing sure is looking nice. Let us know what you think down in the comments and stay tuned for more.